ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day number 10. Holy moly. It's day number 10 of this How to Make Money Online 30-day challenge. So happy you guys are here. Today's topic is going to be stock photography. So, if you're not familiar with stock photography, basically in a nutshell, really what it entails is a photographer, amateur, professional, or otherwise, taking images of things that they love, outdoors, indoors, wherever, and basically selling them to a website to where they can use for free and royalty-free images. So they basically can be downloaded. So that's kind of the gist of stock photography: taking pictures, sell them to a website so they can be used for other things. So, who's ready to dive in? I'm super excited about this one. This one's definitely unique. The last couple ones that we've done actually have been pretty unique. So, let's start like we always do. We're going to start with kind of like a high level overview and just kind of getting an idea. Sweetums, hello. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. So we're just about to get started. I was just telling everybody, I can't believe this is day 10. Is that crazy? It's day 10 already of day 30. So that means what? 20 days. 20 days left of this challenge, which is pretty crazy. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. So, okay, let's get like a little bit of an understanding first about what stock photography is, what it means. Um, selling photos online, the different platforms, talking about how do you earn money, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I know. I tried that honey in the water, and you just reminded me we need to go to the store and pick up that lemon. So whether it be the lemon juice or the lemon, the lemon squeeze or whatever, we got to get that down. So I'd actually like to go back and like watch day one or like the announcement and actually see like, okay, how far have I come, from this Okay, so I'm gonna get through this. All right, so stock photography basically involves selling photos to websites that license the images for use in advertising, websites, could be books, could be magazines, and much more. Who knows what it is online these days? So photographers earn money. It's pretty simple. Photographers earn money every time their photos are downloaded or purchased. So when you have a website like unsplash.com or pexels.com, ones that I reference really, really frequently here because I love the fact that not only are they free for the content creator, for the consumer, but you also have to really admire the work of the photographers that actually put in the time and the effort and really make it what it is and give us these absolutely stunning photographs. So let's start with the types of stock photography. So, okay, so there's basically two types. So you have micro stock and you have macro stock. So for example, micro stock is like higher volume photos, lower price. And examples would be like a Shutterstock or like an iStock, that kind of thing. As far as micro being the bigger one, in terms of higher volume, and macro stock is like a lower volume of photos, but you can command a higher price. So basically, that is the gist of the photos. Sorry about that. Of course, Sweetums, right? Okay. Hey Norbits, how you doing? Welcome. Sorry, I was just looking at some notes here. Just looking at my notes. Okay. Okay. Hey Norbits. Yeah, you haven't missed much here. So basically, all we've talked about is we're getting started selling the stock photos. Um, sorry, getting started talking about what stock photography is, understanding the types of stock photography. We talked about micro stock and micro and macro stock. And so we were just getting into the equipment, as far as like talking about some of the cameras that are typical for, stock photography. So yeah, you came at the right time. So just wanted to see if you guys have any questions out there before we kind of get started here? All right, so we're gonna get started. So, yep. So actually, Norbert, that's a good question. So, do you need expensive photography equipment to start? Yeah, honestly, so for this kind of photography, um, absolutely, you could use your phone. And with the high resolution that these different cameras have nowadays, it's really all about the resolution and kind of how you take the photo. So, you don't need to go out there and get these really high-end cameras and that kind of thing. So that would be perfect. I mean, because nowadays they shoot in such high definition and high resolution. So some of the entry level cameras are the DSLRs, which are like a Nikon D3500, also like a Canon EOS Rebel T7. So those are kind of basic, your couple, you know, mid to kind of high $100, depending on where you get it, what kind of sale you get it. Um, so then you kind of move on to the middle of the road where it's the mirrorless cameras. So the Sony Alpha A6000 and Fujifilm is XT200. So these are just an example of some of the cameras, just to give you an idea of kind of what's out there. Um, yeah, definitely. Yep, I'll definitely post it in. So I can actually post. You know what? Let me get through all these, and then I can post. Hey, Dragon Rider, thank you so much for coming back. Yeah, Norbert. Yep. Do you have links for the recommended equipment? Yep. I'll definitely post the links for the equipment for sure. Let me just check my notes here. Yeah, today's topic is going to be awesome. So let me see here. Let me just run and go get. I forgot to refill my water. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Like 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Let me just fill this up real quick. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry. That's right, Sweetums. That's it. You're live. Sorry, I apologize for that, you guys. I just had to run out real quick. 1 second. So sorry about that. Okay, so where were we? I love that. Okay, so we were talking about cameras, right? I apologize for that. Okay, so we're gonna go down, and so along with a camera, you're gonna want to have, as you kind of get more experience, you're gonna want to have more lenses as far as like, you know, an option is to have an additional lens as far as to, you know, depending on what you want to do as far as, what kind of photography you're doing. If you're doing like wildlife or nature photography and you're kind of shooting out far, then you're going to want to have, certain kind of lenses, whether you're doing like low light, highlight, sharp images. So we're going to dive into lenses. So for the prime lenses, for sharp images and really good low lighting performance would be like 50 milliliters. Um, so it'd be like, that's like a versatile choice for many types of photography, many different types. Also, you have zoom lenses for like more of a flexibility, like in framing, like a framing shot. So that's like 24 to 77 millimeters. So that's great for a range of different subjects. If you're doing something like maybe photography, wedding photography, personal photography, that kind of thing, up close, portrait shots. So that's kind of more along the lines of what you use for that. So prime lenses, sharp images, good and low light. Yeah, I definitely think so, Dragon Rider. So this could potentially get really expensive if you start from scratch. Yeah, definitely. It definitely could. Um, the problem is, I think, I don't think there's anything wrong with using your phone as far as that goes when you're just starting out, but um, as long as you can get like really crisp images. As far as lenses go, I think it's really going to depend on what you're actually shooting. So what are the stock photography? What stock photos are you taking of? So is it of people that are close up and you can actually have your phone and you can click in pretty close? As far as like the zoom and that kind of thing actually on the phone itself, or if you're going to be doing like long range, so like maybe like wildlife to where they're like really far away. Um, that's definitely going to depend on what camera you choose and what lens you choose. So this definitely would be on the side of probably the more medium or to like, kind of expensive range. So it definitely wouldn't be necessarily for like the absolute beginner that doesn't have any experience. Um, but we'll still kind of cover that, and we'll see if there's some options as we kind of go along as far as like, being able to upload with your with your phone, that kind of thing. And honestly, it's always worth a try. So you can always submit photos and you can see if whatever platform that you choose to submit on, if they would accept it. Um, so we're gonna go down to accessories. So let me just pull this up. Okay, there we go. So when we talk about accessories, most of these are really, I guess, kind of standard for what you would think in terms of, setting up a good photo studio or a good photo actual opportunity for taking photos would be a tripod. So obviously, this is not an example of like a professional tripod, but it's still, a tripod that holds, well, this holds a phone, but it would just be like flat right here, and then you could screw the camera on and then you could take photos out that way. So that's definitely one option for a tripod to stabilize your camera. And there's a million and one tripods out there. So really you want to have something that's going to be that is the legs. You want to look for the more stable tripods as far as like that they're secure and they're going to be able to spread out, that kind of thing, and have it really stable. So if it's windy or if there's some sort of weather that kind of happens, you want to make sure the tripod is stable. So tripod obviously to stabilize the camera, and then lighting. So whether you're doing like in a studio or an indoor shot, then you might want to consider getting like LED lighting, either like a ring light or maybe like one of those kind of panel lights or the box lights that has like the LED lights, and they have like kind of like the square and it's kind of like the black, kind of like, I don't think it's cardboard, but like cardboard like covers. So the light is really contained on what you're actually going to be shooting. So that's always intriguing to me because like even getting lighting here for like this live stream is difficult enough, but having it actually be like a professional kind of shot when you're outdoors or you're doing like low lighting, to really get a really like crisp shot at night, I know is extremely difficult. So um, and then of course you're going to want to use your, choose an editing software. So Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop are definitely the industry standards for legitimate photography business, that type of thing for photo editing. Um, Definitely something like a Canva or a GIMP on PC or CapCut, that kind of thing. To be honest, I'm sure you can do little tweaks here and there, but if you really want to take this seriously and have a full-blown photography business, then you definitely want to make sure that you have either Lightroom or Photoshop, and those would be my top two. Um, and as far as I know, those are both available in the cloud. So meaning like you just pay like a monthly subscription and then you can get access to it. So you don't need to have, it's all digital media. So you don't need to have, CD-ROMs or DVDs or anything to install the software, which is good. I'm really glad they moved away from that kind of thing because I think it was just a matter of time before it was just, okay, let's move on and let's make it a little bit easier so you don't have to have the physical media. So yeah, Noritz, that's a good question. So, what types of photos will sell best on stock photo websites? So, here's the list. I pulled the list of it's about looks like one, two, three, about the top seven. So, about the top seven of the most popular niches or um, in demand like subjects, if you will. So, the first one is going to be business and finance. So, whether it be like an office setting or like a meeting, like if somebody's having a meeting and you kind of take pictures while they're having a meeting just in a normal office kind of setting. Um, and then next it would be technology as a whole. So like if you were going to take a picture of like this phone, actually take a picture in different ways, that kind of thing. Or, you know, I don't want to show this thing off again, but this like tripod thing. So any kind of technology that you think would be able to be used in terms of like a stock kind of photography setting. So that's number one. So that would probably be the most in demand subject, or like I guess you could call it like a niche, same kind of thing. Um, so number two is lifestyle. So as you can imagine, this is basically like diverse people in everyday situations, just kind of doing their own thing, like whether it be playing sports or like running or hiking or fishing or doing anything like involved in that kind of thing as far as like people, in a sense, people sense. So doing like a live action shot would be more of like a lifestyle, people living their life and doing whatever they normally do during the day. So that's lifestyle. So number three is going to be health and wellness. So this is a big one because I think this is, I don't want to say it's pretty easy to take advantage of, but it's not take advantage of, but um, yep. So the Dragon Rider. So the first two were business. Yeah. So business and finance is kind of lumped into one, and then the second one is lifestyle. So meaning kind of like you get people's diversity, different cultures, that kind of thing, all wrapped into one. So live, kind of like live action shots. So okay. So number three is going to be health and wellness. So and this one I think is really easy because it's everywhere. Whether it be any type of fitness. So anything you can imagine, maybe people at a gym, maybe people working out here at their home. It could be in like a little tiny, miniature gym or training somewhere or outside hiking or, anything that has to do with fitness, basically. So everything from like taking pictures of the weights to the people, the individual athletes getting ready, warming up their equipment. You can really tackle it from all angles as far as anything you can imagine people will use images for. So you don't really know. So I think the possibilities are endless as far as making sure that you have enough photos. I don't think you would run out in terms of that. So okay, so fitness was number one. Number two is healthcare professionals. So basically anybody in the medical field, doctors, nurses, um, technicians, that kind of thing. Maybe like the front desk staff, anybody that's in like the healthcare field, surgeons, anybody in that medical field in a sense. Um, this might be a little more tricky as far as like, you can't exactly get a photo of somebody like doing an operation, obviously, but maybe like more of like the medical equipment or, the doctor, the surgeon, or the nurse, maybe standing in the hallway, kind of dressed in their scrubs and kind of ready to go to work. That might be something as far as to get your actual, the persona of, the person. So, yeah. So Dragon Rider asks, are people using these for their corporate flyers? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think getting like having a stock image of an individual in a certain type of niche or a certain type of setting, I think is very, very widely used, not only for their own, kind of like marketing themselves, but also like, yeah, business advertising. Dragon Rider, definitely, I would say that too. So you can just find a stock image, especially online with digital media, creating flyers, creating any kind of, maybe promos with, on social media, and you just want like a stock image of a some sort of medical professional. So yeah, I think you can actually, so what you can do is there's different websites that you can go to find. I would probably start as far as asking around like your local kind of like networking space, but there's definitely websites you can find to find models. So um, let me just grab a couple here. So let's see. Okay. So what I would say is, so there's definitely excuse me, there's modeling websites, there's like modeling agencies that you can go to. So the modeling websites would be something like, let's see if we can find one that's like pretty big. Um, okay. Okay, so I don't have any like right offhand, but you definitely can find if you get set up with if you search for like a local modeling agency like in your area, then you can definitely get set up with, okay, this is what you're trying to do. This is the kind of photos you're trying to take, and you want to make sure that you have these type of people for your photos. If you have an idea of, okay, this is exactly how I want it to go, the type of photos I want to take, and all of that kind of thing. So you definitely, I think, going in, before you kind of seek out the models and the type of people that you want to take photos of, you kind of have an idea of what is your niche or your, your topic, or, what is the goal? What are you trying to do? So going in, I think that would make it a little bit easier, than finding people. But, kind of like from the beginning, I mean, you can always go, and kind of ask around your friends, your family, that kind of thing, and see if anybody knows, see if anybody's willing to kind of help you out and actually be a participant in this. So that's always something that you can do, on the cheaper side, is kind of ask around your network, locally, family, friends, that kind of thing, to see if anybody might be interested in. So yeah, no, that's a good question, Orbits. So definitely one of those things that I think people wonder when they first start, how do you even find people? So I would say usually asking for volunteers or people in your circle or your network. So, and the final part of health and wellness is healthy eating. So really taking photos of healthy food, whether it be like at the grocery store, it could be at restaurants, it could be people that are preparing food or preparing food for like, a menu, or it could be like a catering. If you go to like a wedding maybe and you take pictures of, healthy food, or you can buy the food. If you have food at home, you can kind of stage it and take pictures that way. So I think there's a lot of different ways that you can actually approach this in terms of finding subjects and finding the actual medium that you're going to actually photograph. All right. What? It's not even like late. It's like, 4:30 here. So, okay. So number 4 is going to be travel. So travel is basically like iconic landmarks, major cities, major tourist destinations and public destinations that people want to see photos of if they're not able to travel there for various reasons. Um, that's right. It's a 4 o'clock slump, right? I'm gonna take a nap real quick. Okay, that was it. That was a cat nap. All right. See, you don't get a live with someone taking a nap right on the live in the middle of a conversation, right? So you never know what you're gonna get on these lives. All right, we had 3 people drop. We had 3 people drop just because of that. No more sleeping. No more sleeping on the live. So iconic landmarks, culture or experiences, those are both really, I think, really popular, but also at the same time very valuable and beneficial to get to document, not just for the individual, for the photographer themselves, but also to share that with other people that don't have the means or the resources to actually go out and visit these places or, experience this culture, which I think is an absolutely beautiful thing. So if you can share culture through photo and video, um, especially being able to have, stock images to where you can download, I think that is a wonderful experience, and that is very, very, like, I think it's such a neat thing that we're able to do, and be able to share experiences like that. So, what's the fastest way to lose people on a live? You pretend to sleep. Things going up and down, up and down. So Norbert asked, what if you take photos of a landmark and someone you don't know is in your shot? Could you still sell that image? So what you can do is, if you want to make sure that that person is not in your image, before you actually sold it, what I would do, to be honest, if it was me, is I would use my photo editing software, like a Photoshop or like a Lightroom, and I would actually like remove that person from the screen. So you can actually go in there and I've actually never used Photoshop myself personally. I'm definitely a Canva person, so I'm not like on the expert of the photo kind of editing and that kind of stuff. But I would definitely see if at all possible, if you could remove that person. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Sweetums. Excuse me. Thank you. That's cool. So do you just kind of highlight an area or like shade an area in and then you delete it? Is that kind of how? So Sweetums says Canva can now remove objects real easy. Oh, that's awesome. So it uses AI to fill in the empty space. Canva, you're giving me more and more reason that I love you every single day. I mean, it's just, that's cool. I mean, for somebody definitely like me, personally speaking, like that doesn't have like hardly any photography skills. I don't have any graphic design skills really. I kind of just learn and pick up things as I go and experience. Um, that would be a lifesaver for me, not wanting to spend money, on a subscription. So, um, yeah. So Dragon Rider says you need 5,000 subscribers before they sponsor you. Yep, that's right. So basically, what that means is in order to be an affiliate for Canva, so Canva themselves, they require you or whoever it is, the content creator, to have 5,000 subscribers before you can start earning money as an affiliate marketer for them. So we got a little ways to go, but I definitely love Canva, and I would recommend it to anybody, even the free version, all day and all night for sure. So, okay, number five, the number five most profitable niche for stock photography is, you probably could have guessed this. I'm actually surprised it's not further up, but nature and wildlife. So that's going to include, landscapes, animals and natural habitats, just any kind of animal, creature, anything you could think of that is a part of the animal kingdom, or even the landscape. Like, can you imagine seeing these just absolutely stunning images of like jungles? Jungles are like rainforests, or like Antarctica, where these glaciers are like insane, like crazy tall. And some of these images almost don't look real. I mean, they look like postcards. So it's really, really cool to be able to see, you know, I know, feet, right? Yeah, yeah. That might go under lifestyle, right? So Norbert says, I'm surprised that feet didn't show up on there. That might be under like lifestyle or like health and wellness. If you get like a foot person, you could probably put that on there. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, anything's possible, right? You can put anything on there. So yeah, or health and wellness. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So um I love nature and wildlife images because when you think about it, it's just, I don't know. It's so neat. It's natural. It's kind of like natural beauty. And then having animals that are in their natural habitat is just something very special. Like basically the quintessential definition of being like a National Geographic wildlife photographer, which I know is many, many people's dreams. And just, can you imagine like being in the safari, just going up and just shooting around and getting these stunning images of these animals in their natural habitat, which is an insane thing. So yeah, that's pretty nuts. So okay, so number six on our list is going to be food and drink. So this kind of ties in with health and wellness a little bit, but this kind of opens up more of the wider, broader, I think, spectrum of high quality images of meals, of beverages, of desserts, of chocolate fountains at the Bellagio, just shooting down. I mean, things like that. I mean, can you imagine like just seeing this image of this zoomed in chocolate fountain just drizzling down and oh, what did we want before? So, so we wanted something the other day. Well, oh yeah, there was a chicken sandwich, right? The chicken sandwich with the sauerkraut, and now it's chocolate. Yeah, that's right. Yep, of the food. Yeah. Yeah, Dragon Rider's right. So if anybody out there, if you're listening to this or you're watching the replay and you want to know what we're talking about, yesterday we did a live and we were talking about ebooks as our business model. And we had some really stunning images of food. So go and check that out if you'd like to watch that. Yeah, those images were awesome. It seriously made me hungry. That was crazy. Oh no, are you serious? I was like, are you serious? It hasn't aged well. The fountain at the Bellagio. The chocolate fountain, I mean. Yeah, dang, that's the because that was like it might have been the world's tallest chocolate fountain when it was like, you know, oh, that is sad. That's really sad because you figure the Bellagio had this reputation that you're gonna uphold this certain level of, uh class and professionalism and just like, luxury, that kind of thing. Even if it's a chocolate fountain, they still make it look luxurious. And like in the early 2000s, I mean, it was just like this crown jewel over by the conservatory, and that kind of stinks that it's gone downhill a little bit. I wonder if people have like, they don't clean it out as much, so like I don't know. Is there like chocolate pieces that are like stuck in there or something? I don't know. I don't know, but that definitely has a special place, definitely in my heart as a memory, from the conservatory in Vegas, in Bellagio. So, and food, like just having people take pictures of food and drink. I mean, there's people that only photograph food, drink, meals, desserts, buffets, that kind of thing. So, oh, that stinks. Okay, well, hopefully they'll, kind of revitalize it and make it, once what it was because it definitely was something that was very, like it was definitely a spectacle in itself, I know that. So, yeah, just I think taking pictures of food is absolutely I mean, all these things take an art. It takes skill, it takes talent, it takes a certain eye to be able to photograph at certain, kind of, angles, that kind of thing, but to be able to photograph food in such a way that it almost looks like 4D, like it's coming out of the screen, is an incredible talent. And I definitely think that if you're able to do that, then you definitely have something going. That's for sure. So, I mean, if you can make people hungry just with the pictures that you take, that's a pretty incredible skill. So, okay, so we're going to move on to number seven, profitable niches for stock photography. So, out of everything that we've covered so far, okay, so we've covered business, we've covered lifestyle, we've covered health and wellness, travel, nature, and food and drink. So, do you guys have any idea? If you wanted to guess, do you have any idea what the last one might be? Yeah, definitely, Norbits. I would say if you do have a food blog, I would highly recommend selling your photos as stock photos. I think that would be an excellent side hustle and as a complement to a food blog for sure. Especially if you're a photographer, definitely, I would definitely recommend that. If you can get into that, if you already have the gear and everything, then why not kind of add that to your tool belt of a side hustle. So Dragon Rider, that's close. It's not sports, but it is technology. And I'm surprised sports isn't on here, but it's technology. So really gadgets, people using tech gadgets. What's really big right now is like, you know, everything from like, of course, all of the new phones, the tablets, the TVs you could think of, laptops, tablets. I mean, all these new fancy cars, some of the electric vehicles that have all this fancy stuff in them, just these big screens with, no gauges or dashboards or anything. Really anything you could think of that has to do with technology, literally anything. It could be the smallest thing, like, even like a mouse like this, this kind of thing. So really anything that would be labeled or categorized as technology, you could absolutely take that, a photo of that, and then potentially, sell that because the cool part is you never know who is actually going to be downloading these, and you might as well take a chance with uploading anything and everything if you're into technology because you never know who's going to need an image of what. And chances are you don't just shoot one image, right? You shoot like a ton of images, like potentially thousands of images. So you want to actually like take as much as you can and then upload everything. That way, you have all your feelers out there in terms of who's going to buy what, who's going to download what. Okay, so Dragon Rider said, can you include logos in your stock photos or will you get copyright strike if you photograph an iPhone or laptop? So I would say, so you mean like copyright strike for like just in general if you use it on like a website? I think so. Dragon Rider, the question was, can you include logos in your stock photos or will you get copyright strike like if you photograph an iPhone or a laptop? So I think you can use those the logos in the stock photos, but what you can do is just credit the company or the brand. Um, oh, I see. So for selling stock photos of an iPhone with a okay. So in that case, honestly, I don't think you can sell like you probably couldn't sell it because you don't own the copyright to that actual the the intellectual property like the image. Um, yeah, you would think it would be. So Norbit says, wouldn't that be free advertising for them? And you think it would be, right? I mean, and it is on the surface, but I think they're probably going to deny that. And there has to be something like with these stock image sites, like Shutterstock or like iStock or that kind of thing, or like Getty. These ones that you see all the time. I'm pretty sure there's something in the contract that says you can't have any copyrighted material and make money off of it because obviously it's copywritten. But so yeah, I know. But that would so what you could do is if so that means if you had a laptop open, uh, if you had a laptop open, you could probably just like blur out the Apple logo on the back. But if there's no Apple logo on the inside of the laptop, like if you have it flipped open and you want to do the keyboard or the screen or whatever, as long as there's no I think like distinguishing like visual symbols of the company itself, I'm pretty sure that's fair game. Like if you're taking a shot like on a desk, I've seen that where people take the photos on like a desk setup and then you have like the monitor, the laptop, and maybe like a keyboard or something. If you take that image, as long as it doesn't have like the copyright logo or symbol, then I'm pretty sure you could do that. Yeah. Hey King, thank you so much. Welcome back. I really appreciate you being here. Every time I see your name, I'm like, man, I just smile. I'm like, dude, coming back. Thank you so much, King. I'm glad you're able to catch another one. Today we were talking about stock photography, man. So, welcome back. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much, King. Yeah, you know what, Norbits? I mean, you definitely are. You are kind of profiting from selling the iPhone image in a sense. I mean, so I can see why they would probably squash that. They would squash it as far as like I mean, I'm sure it's fine if you weren't trying to sell it, but because we're kind of talking about on this live, we're talking about selling your photography. I definitely think that would probably be on the no list. Um, so here's just a couple of ideas if we want to kind of think about like emerging trends and kind of yeah, definitely King. Yeah, I'm definitely having a good day today. It rained a little bit here and now it's sunny. It looks like so. Yeah, doing good over here. Thank you. How are you, Damien? Hey, what's up, man? It's so good to see you again. Yeah, yeah, I know. From Poland, right? Yeah, I love that's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for your support. Yeah, great to have you back. I'm glad the time kind of worked out. I know the times are a little kind of all over the place, but thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So, okay, so Dragon Rider asked, what are the best stock photo websites to sell on and how much does it cost? So, yep. So, I would say for sure the top ones are for selling is definitely going to be Shutterstock, iStock. Those are those two, and so basically they go through and they're going to give you a breakdown on what the photo is, what the niche is. So there's not like a baseline price. It's really dependent upon what the actual photo is about. So those are those two, and then I would definitely like, even like something like Unsplash and Pexels. Those are two that are not as large as like Shutterstock and iStock, but I would definitely start there too. So those are four probably the major platforms that you could sell your photos to. And really, what you can do is you can go down and um, you can find out like, let's see if we can find out what are some of the highest paying platforms here. Okay. All right. So it looks like there's one here that okay, 500 px, which is pixels. So 500 pixels, I guess, is the name of a company. It says it pays some of the highest royalty rates in stock photography. As a paid awesome member, you earn 70% royalties on non-exclusive photos and 100% on exclusive photos. Free members likewise earn 60% on exclusive photos. So let's see. That's pretty cool. Okay, so Adobe stock. So I just found it. So Adobe stock, it looks like photographers earn 33% of each sale to Adobe stock as far as like what you would get paid. So the only catch here is that you have to be 18. So I'm guessing that you'd have to be probably 18 to sell any of your photos on these sites. So Getty Images, let's see, does it tell us? Um, Okay, it looks like as of this post, they're not accepting new images. So maybe that would change in the future. Um, oh dang, Damien, no, I was trying to. I was wondering about that too. I didn't want to comment on it, but I was like, oh man, dude, did you get the phone? We don't know. We don't know if you got the phone or not. We're not sure. That's so funny. Hey, that's all right. That's okay. That's all right. Sometimes, you do your best to try to win, what you can. Okay. That's all right. Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming back. Yeah, so Norbit, some of the it looks like some of these platforms they require you to be a member. So what it means is uh Fotalia, Fotolia. It looks like they were a separate company, but they were bought by Adobe stock, it looks like. So let's see here. Okay. So it looks like you earn, if you're a member, you earn 33% of each sale. So yeah, Damien. So with the stock footage is a great thing because you can actually sell every photo you have on your yeah phone like right now. Yeah, I was wondering about that, Damien. Have you tried to sell stock photos before? I know Getty Images, iStock Photo. There's some other ones I haven't heard of, but Shutterstock obviously is a big one, a well known one. It looks like Shutterstock contributors earn up to 33%. So it looks like between like 20, it looks like I'm seeing between 20 to 50, depending on what site you go through. So when you're Damien, your equipment, like, do you have like, the real kind of like really nice, really nice camera, that kind of thing? Yeah, good luck, King. You haven't slept in 32 hours? Dang, yeah, you definitely need to you need to go to sleep. Absolutely. Thank you, King, for stopping by. Absolutely, I appreciate it. Go get some sleep, man, definitely. Okay, let's move this thing over here. There we go. That might be able to, is this like, where is this coming from? This might be coming in the, let me close that. I don't know if that's like causing a blur effect. Let me check that room. Okay, is that better? I don't know if that's better or worse. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, you know what's funny? We were talking about that earlier. We were talking about that earlier, Damon, that nowadays, like camera phone resolutions have, just as good resolution. I wasn't sure if you needed to have like, actually buy and invest in the expensive type of material or not, the equipment. Let me move this over. Actually, there we go. Yeah, so Dragon Rider. So even the free stock photo photography websites, the creator will get paid. Yep. No, no worries, Damon. You're good. You're all good. No problem. No worries at all. Yeah, so they're so Norbits, that's a good question. So if they get paid, or if they get paid and we download it for free, what's in it for the free stock photo company? So they also have, most of these stock photos companies have a premium tier. So like Unsplash has Unsplash Plus that have a little more, I think the variety of photos and maybe the resolution, maybe the higher resolution photos are reserved just for like the Unsplash Plus. So there is like that more premium tier level that that you have to actually pay to get into. So I think that might be kind of where the connection is as far as like how they get paid. Yeah. Yep, Dragon Rider, that's right. So the lower tier photos, yep. Yeah, and it is free exposure, right? Damien, yeah. They have ads on the website, so you get it for free, but they get paid from someone else. Yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of those they probably do have sponsors themselves, and they probably do have, brand sponsorships or that kind of thing, or even potentially like some sort of ads on their website that they can get money from. So they can afford to let some of the photos go for free, which I think is a great idea because you're drawing like millions of people, potentially to your website. And then when you download these, every time it gets downloaded, then, for a certain amount of however much the company says, the platform says, then the actual photographer will get paid. So that's also a bonus for the platform to keep drawing more people and bringing people in with free promotion because the photographer's getting paid, and the platform is actually getting more traffic as well. So, yep, that's a good one, Sweetums. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So even lower down on their page, they do have stock photos from like, yeah, Adobe, and I'm sure they have like more from like, Shutterstock and iStock, and they kind of put them. Those may or may not even be real photos. It could just be like a photo, like kind of collage that's disguised as like an ad, that kind of thing. So yeah. So I think there's a bunch of different ways I feel like that they can get paid as far as, the free platform, viewing it as free, but I'm sure that the traffic, just the traffic alone, I'm sure they're getting paid based on the traffic. In addition to like the photos and that kind of thing. Yep. Yeah, exactly, Sweetum. So they did. I've definitely seen that too, where they mix them up, and so if they're better than the free ones, then you're gonna be tempted to buy those instead. Yeah, absolutely. I can see that too, where you're like, well, this one looks really good. It's really crisp. It's really clear. But at the same time, maybe I'll just pay a little. I'll pay a little bit for this because I really want this shot or this angle or this view, that kind of thing. So yeah. So when I was thinking about going through and researching, um, so I was looking for like trends, like what is actually trending like right now in 2024. And so one of the biggest things that's trending for like stock photography would be remote work. So home office setups is huge. Like virtual meetings, people like on a call or like with the headset on, in a call center type setting. Sustainability, so basically like eco-friendly practices, renewable energy. That's also like really big right now. um, Diversity and inclusion, representing various ethnicities, ages, lifestyles, that kind of thing. Um, and then social issues. I don't think that's ever going to go away. That's always going to be popular. So, images that reflect current social movements, issues, that kind of thing that are going on. So, anything really that's kind of like trending online and social media, I think is a trend, in general for like, because you think about like a photojournalist for like a newspaper or a magazine, they're basically doing the same thing. Like they get paid to be a photojournalist as a job, but the photos that they take, if they weren't working for somebody, they could take them and they can upload them to these various platforms and then make money on their own, that kind of thing. So I think there's multi layers to this stock photography side hustle or business model. And if you have the gear, you have the equipment, and you have the skill and you're learning as you go along, I think, like Damien said, I mean, just you got nothing to lose. Just upload whatever you have, create an account and upload whatever you have and then see kind of what sticks. Yeah. So Dragon Rider said, what about Getty Images? Can you sell them on Getty too? Yeah, you can sell them on Getty Images too. They're the ones I think though that they weren't accepting or you weren't able to submit images recently. I'm not sure if they paused that freeze or not, but I don't know exactly what caused them to say we're not going to accept images right now. So I think it was in the last like couple months or so, but yeah, it could be maybe that they were just like overloaded and people were uploading like maybe it wasn't as high quality images possibly, and they needed like people to like, kind of do like what's it called? Like a quality like QA, like quality assurance kind of going through it. Yeah, sure, Norbit, no problem. So, okay. So the question is, can you go over how you get paid again, please? I missed that. So, yeah, definitely. So, let me just pull up my notes here. Sorry, I just pulled it down. Okay. Okay. So basically, how you get paid is once you find a platform, then you're going to upload the image, and whoever the platform is, whether it's like, Shutterstock, um, iStock, Alamy, Dreamstime, whatever, it doesn't matter what the platform is. Um, Basically, depending on what the actual the content or the category of the photo is, um, you'll get paid if they decide to. to upload it. So you basically have to submit photos, whatever it is in any category, and then if the platform, let's just say Shutterstock, if they use them, then so the website actually sets a price for what they'll pay you. So it looks like it ranges from um, the commission that they're going to take. Um, it ranges from about 15 to, on the low end, to the commission they take to like 50%, which is crazy high. So it really depends on the actual site themselves as to how much they're going to take, because I know they all have their own, slightly different kind of setup. So then, yeah, as Damien mentioned, um, as far as being exclusive, yeah, some are making the photos exclusive. Yep. So so basically, what does that mean? Exclusive versus non-exclusive. So exclusive means basically some websites offer, offer higher commissions. However, they take a commission on each sale. So they offer higher commissions if you sell photos exclusively to them. So meaning like you don't sell the same photo to different platforms. So non-exclusive definitely allows you to sell the same photos online to like multiple platforms, which can definitely increase exposure in the sales. So there, I think the difference between, maybe making more money versus maybe less money would be if you signed up for selling exclusive photos just to this particular platform, and then maybe you can command a higher price if the photos are really high quality, and they're really about like a trending topic. So it's going to be getting paid depends on if it's exclusive versus non-exclusive. That's the first thing. And the second part is, it's usually free to upload, but then really it's up to the individual platform as to how much of a commission they're going to take on each sale. So, and some of them judge it by, how much they purchase it for, or how much the photo gets downloaded. So that's another part of it too. So if it gets X amount of, let's just say if it gets 1 million downloads, maybe you'll make, there might be a set fee. I think it depends on the platform to determine, how much you're going to get based on the download volume. Yeah. So Norbit, sorry, I don't know if I answered that last part, but so you as an individual or the photographer don't set the price. That would be the website or the platform. So I think there's definitely pros and cons to having it be exclusive or, non-exclusive kind of thing. So, yep. Okay, so Dragon Rider asks, what is the typical earning potential for stock photos? Go. Just checking that real quick. So it looks like I would say in the low range, you can get a couple dollars. And if depending on if you have a reputation and a big portfolio, you can command up to 100, hundreds of dollars per photo. So it looks like, according to ZipRecruiter, one of the main recruiting platforms out there, stock photographers in the U.S. they earn anywhere between, excuse me, 50 to 70,000 annually, with the top earners making over 70,000. So that's not bad. I mean, that's definitely like full time job, full time salary. Oh yeah, that's a great idea, Damien. Sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat. Yeah, to talk to a representative and kind of see if maybe they're looking for a certain style of photos that you may have or you may be able to provide to them. Definitely. Yeah, so Dragon Rider asked, do you have to live in the US for them to hire you? No, I don't think you do. I think really it can be global, like worldwide. So And I would say a big portfolio, um, that could be, maybe separating into different categories, and definitely like most likely, I mean, you want to have thousands of photos, obviously, but to show off, maybe a couple hundred photos in some different categories, on like a website, and a really nice kind of like visual display, I think, website, and maybe like a carousel form, or like, maybe different galleries, I think is probably the best way to kind of show off your work and show off your talent and what you've done. Here's your portfolio of, okay, I did wedding photos, nature photos, I did, maybe food. I mean, you're kind of combining all the niches, but just having a nice clean cut, portfolio online with a ton of different galleries for different topics, or like, categories, I think is probably the best way to do it. Yeah, definitely, Norbits. I totally agree. If you're already established and you already have the equipment, you already have the gear, you're already taking photos, yeah, definitely, why not, on top of what you're already doing. So Dragon Matter asks, is there a way to find the most downloaded photos on a stock website so you can make similar photos? I know certain websites, let me check on Splash. I know certain websites actually have that you can sort it by downloads. So let me just see real quick if you can sort by relevance, newest, oldest, orientation. Okay, so it doesn't look like, at least not through the free version. It doesn't look like, at least on Unsplash, through the free version, doesn't look like you can sort by most popular. You can sort by relevance or newest or curated, but yeah, that's true. Like whatever they have on the homepage is kind of stuff that they're going to feature, probably, right? Like the featured images, the ones that are really doing well. Okay, so we talked about the subjects, like the niches. We talked about the trends. So here's just a couple of tips that I kind of found when I was looking around for doing research on this. Um, Tips for success, kind of things. Some of these you might kind of, they're common sense, but so obviously focusing on quality over quantity. So basically, you want to make sure that the quality, the light, the angle, the maybe whatever you're shooting, like the actual subject of whatever you're shooting is really clear, really in focus. You get a nice angle on it. Having really engaging and just really almost like kind of evoking like an emotion or evoking something from somebody when they're looking at the image, and just like that's stunning, like that's a crazy image. Kind of drawing out that emotion, I think would definitely be focusing on that, and definitely meeting like the standards for whatever the stock photo site is. So whatever platform you choose, if you start with one of them, just make sure that you have all their criteria met, maybe in your head when you're thinking about it before you start taking photos, just so you can know, okay, all my photos are going to be at least accepted or considered, that kind of thing, versus just kind of shooting all kind of random and then not really knowing, okay, what might be accepted. So quality over quantity, that's number one. Number two is keywording. So keywords. So use relevant keywords to make your photos discoverable. So you can actually put keywords in when you're uploading photos, also to these stock sites, and that way they can be tagged not only on the site itself, but like through like a Google or like a search engine like that. So they can be picked up as well. So okay, so Norbert's asked, do you have to advertise your photography or have a website? So to be honest, I mean, I think you don't necessarily have to do that if you're kind of just doing it for fun, just as a hobby, and you're not really looking to kind of make money or really start a business with it. Then I think you could just kind of have it for your own, kind of portfolio itself. But I definitely think if you wanted to take this seriously and market it as a business and have a portfolio for yourself, that you can actually market and actually have, you know, be able to draw in brands and sponsorships and that kind of thing and actually have people want to buy your images. I definitely think it's probably for the best to have, a photography website, basically something that you could build and that has your portfolio listed, but it's constantly fluid, so it's ever changing, that kind of thing. Yeah, I agree, Damien. Yeah, definitely would be a plus, and especially if you wanted to take it seriously and really try to capitalize off, if you're a natural, if you have really, really high talent for taking photos, then I think that would definitely, kind of seem like, an obvious choice. So the next thing is consistency, and we kind of just went into this a little bit. So regularly uploading photos to keep your portfolio fresh, and you definitely want to increase the chance of your sales. So um, whether it be you find a stock site, or what you can do is you can even, I'm sure at this point, you can even do it on your own as well. So something like a Shopify, I've seen people buy photos on like Shopify. I'm sure even like something with Etsy, you can do that too. So you can really spread the grounds of like, as far as like syndicating or like making sure that you cover all your bases when you're taking photos and you're getting ready to upload them, you might as well try as many different options as you can. If you do have like a Shopify integration or some sort of a store integration to your website, I think that's just another source of income that you could possibly have, right? So you just have to kind of keep track of, okay, well, I uploaded to Shutterstock, I uploaded it to Getty or whatever, um, you know, that kind of thing, wherever you want to upload it to, I stock photos, um, and then just as you're kind of building, your portfolio, but also you're getting income at the same time, then, eventually that could be you to where you're putting potentially, putting ads on your website as long as it doesn't slow it down. I think that's kind of the biggest thing. So yeah, definitely Sweetums. That's definitely spot on. So people who sell mock-ups on Etsy make a ton of money. And I think mock-ups, and I'm sure there's other like just stock images too that people sell, even though they know that you can go to these free websites and download them. But I think these are options too. So taking, you have the own creative copyright of the images, so you can sell those, and you're basically selling it with that creative license. That's crazy, right? That is definitely something that still blows me away. It doesn't matter how many times we talk about it here about AI, people selling AI. We had somebody who was a part of this community wanted to put AI images on t-shirts for print on demand when we talked about that topic. So that was pretty crazy. I mean, AI is just like all over the place. It's here to stay, and it's one of those things that you really have to figure out how to leverage it, in a positive way, in your own kind of daily usage to where you can take advantage of it and just, start earning money. Because that's definitely, I think it's one of those things where that's saying if you can't beat them, join them, right? I mean, yeah, definitely, Damon. So great tip for everyone who's trying this way to make money by selling stock photos. If you have a photo in resolution, put it in Canva first and then rename it using keyword. Yeah. So actually rename the photo using the keyword. That's a great tip. Okay. In the case of keywords, yeah, definitely, Damien. Yeah, that's great. So I think Damien was just saying like when you have a photo and you upload it to Canva, then Damien, definitely correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to try to explain what you were talking about. So you have a photo in Canva that you took. I mean, you take a photo, you upload it to Canva, and when you're getting ready to save the photo or export it, you want to actually in the title or the name of the file name, you actually want to put a keyword in there that describes the photo. So you can kind of use that also as, part of your search engine when you upload it to your website. You're right, with your website or your portfolio or even like a stock image site. So I think, is that what you were referring to, Damien? Um, that kind of process? Okay, because the website sees that. Yeah, is it, yeah, kind of like what Dragon Rider was asking, can you can just do, you can just rename it, you know, however you want, wherever, right? I mean, you don't necessarily need Canva to rename the image with excuse me, with a keyword. But I think if you were going to upload that image to Canva to say to edit it in some way, or maybe put like a watermark or something on it, then you'd want to export it that way. But I think, yeah, definitely you can use anything to rename a photo. Okay, yeah. Canva is good for it because of the quality, I would say, yeah. And I mean, honestly, like Canva is really easy to use. I mean, that's why we love Canva. Yeah. Yeah, so Norbert's asked, how would you find the right keywords to name your photo? So Damien, do you have any kind of like insight or tips or tricks on that? Um, there's a couple of things that I have in my mind, but I just want to see like, kind of what your thoughts are as far as that goes. Yeah, Dragon Rider, I would say so. That's a good tip. That's a good tip, Damien. So try using Google Keyword Planner. So is that just, let's see, Google Keyword Planner. Okay, so it looks like, is that part of Google Ads, Damien? Because it looks like it says Google Keyword Planner is free. All you need is a Google Ads account to use it. To set one up, go to ads.google.com. Hey, Nicholas. What's up, dude? Hey, thank you so much for popping in, man. Awesome. Yeah, you know what? I think you were the one that originally we talked about that what I had before was a page and not a group, right? So because of you, I created the public group, man. Did you find it? Let me see. I can always post a link if you need it. So let me just post it here. So if you guys are interested out there, we have a free Facebook group. So if you guys want to check it out, it's a public group. So just check it out if you guys would like to join. Absolutely. Feel free to join. Yeah, so good to see you, Nicholas. Okay, cool. No worries, dude. Sounds good. Appreciate it. So as soon as that pops up, man, after this live or whatever, I'll kind of take a look and I'll get back to you, okay? I really appreciate you coming back and hanging out again, Nicholas. That's awesome, man. I appreciate the support. I really do. Okay, so if you want precise numbers, Damien's saying set up an ad for $1 and then they'll show you the exact numbers. Is that for? Yeah, I was wondering about that. Dragon Rider asked. So is it $1 a day, Damien? Is that what you mean? So, okay, yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. So you need to set up an ad and you use the Google Keyword Planner while you have the ad running, right? Numbers for keywords, yeah, numbers for searches. Okay, that's right. Okay, that makes sense. So what Damien is saying basically is you set up a Google ad account, and then you start an ad for like $1 a day, and then you do your research about your Google Keyword Planner, um, through your Google Ads account, how many people are searching, the monthly volume, that kind of thing. Get all your keywords, and then you can cancel the ad after you've done all the research. Because I think it only stays active once you're doing your research, right? I mean, you can only do your research while the ad is active, right? I haven't really played. I played with Google Ads a little tiny bit, but definitely not enough to kind of like dig in like super a lot. Okay. Yep. Absolutely. No, that is good. That's a little hack right there. Yeah, I was wondering that too, Damien. So like, how long do you think it would take to gather like some research? Like, would you let it go? Would you let the ad go for like an entire day, maybe, or just a couple of hours? Do you think, or? But that's a good tip, dude. Seriously, that's a good tip. That way, what you can do is you're kind of like almost you're gaining what you need from the Google ad itself. But even if you want to let it run for $1 a day, I mean, you're still basically maximizing and using the tools that are involved within Google Ads. So I think that's smart. Even if you do $1 a day and you're like maybe you just let it run for a couple days, I still think that's good. Okay, so you can do research without any ad, but then it shows 100 to what is that, 10,000 range of searches. If you set an ad, then it shows you examples. People are in this. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so it's more detailed, more specific. If you do like the ad, right? If you do like the Google ad, then you can get more specific, more like pinpoint data versus like if you're trying to do it for free. That definitely makes sense. So, I mean, that seems like it'd be worth it. It seems like it'd be worth it to just do it for like $1 a day or something, and just kind of get your data, get whatever you need, and then that's really like a hack, dude. Hey, King, we're all for like helping each other out, man. But let's stick to talking about stock photography here, man. I don't think anybody's gonna give you money just for nothing, but you're welcome to hang around and talk about photography, stock photos, and that kind of thing. So since you popped in and you left a comment, why don't you hang out and learn about stock photography? We're having a great conversation here. So boom, Sweetums got him. Got him. Done. Thank you, Sweetums. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt for like 2 seconds. That's so funny. It says they were timed out for 86,000 seconds. I don't know what that is. I don't know how long that is, but that's so funny. Just the wording is like, put him in timeout. Sweetums put him in timeout. Boom, like that. You know what's funny is like we're like all easygoing, right? It's all like informal. It's all good. It's just when you kind of come in to the live chat and like talk kind of you know just not just disrespectful, but like at least stay on topic. If you're gonna say some random crap, like at least have it be somewhat like intelligent, you know. So, but it's all good. We try to let it slide as much as we can, but you know, we don't want any negativity here. You know, I know everybody's here for like, you know, the positive vibes and making sure everybody is you know, learning something. So it's all good. That's why we love Sweetums. Just tack them, you know. So Sweetums definitely keeps the chat clean and definitely does a phenomenal job to as a moderator. So thank you, Sweetums. We appreciate you. Yeah, so I was thinking about when Damien was talking about that, yeah. And you get intel about the numbers, which keywords to use, and boom, it's done. You can make, dude, that's awesome. I mean, I mean, in and out. If you wanted to make it like that quick and actually just get your data, get your numbers, get your the keyword, whatever the keyword information you want to get, and I would, if you can't like export it to like Excel or something, you can just probably like copy and paste it, right? Because all you really need to know is like, okay, the keyword itself, and then what is the monthly volume, you know? Damien, how long have you been doing Google Ads? I'm just curious. Oh, cool. You can export them too? That's awesome. So you export the keyword or the list or whatever it is. So you don't have to like copy and paste, copy and paste. That actually sounds pretty stupid now that I'm saying it out loud. Copy and paste, you know. Yeah, I would imagine you could probably export it. I'm just gonna look through my notes, guys, real quick. Okay, that makes sense. So we'll suggest related keywords with the search volumes so that you'll see it all in a row. Very easy to compare. Okay. Yeah, that is valuable information, Damien. Thank you so much for sharing that. We really appreciate that. Man, that's why I love this. I love this live stream idea because everybody is just, they just bring like the highest quality advice and tips and tricks. And it makes this community, it's like building this community from the ground up. And we're basically just like anything to help each other out is so cool. I love that people are, you know, you guys are willing to share your information and, you know, be able to, hey, this is a cool tip or a trick that I learned. And I think this could be useful. So maybe you want to check it out. Yep. No, I couldn't agree more, Damien. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Google is like the supreme kind of like, you know, search engine. So definitely whatever you can glean from Google and get the data that you can use to analyze to actually like propel yourself or your site or whatever it is forward, whatever you're trying to do. I mean, why not to take advantage of it? Yep. No, I totally agree. I mean, that's a great strategy too, because use what you can, what Google has given you as best you possibly can. And then if you have to spend like a little bit of money here and there to kind of like gain access to a little more data, but if the data is more like pertinent to what you're actually trying to do in order to kind of leverage to make more sales or get more exposure or that kind of thing, um, I'm all for that. Absolutely. You know, even if it means spending a little bit of money just to kind of like get the data, because I think that's some of the hardest part is like getting the data and being able to take that and actually using it in like a real world setting. That's awesome. Damien, we got so we talked about ebooks yesterday, but we do have flipping domains that's coming up, man. I think in the next week or so. So definitely kind of keep, you know what? I can let me see if I can find that real quick. I want to tell you when that is. So website flipping is day 15, domain flipping is day 16. So in the next five, what is that? About 5 or 6 days, give or take. So we'll be doing Damien flipping. Sorry, we'll be doing website flipping, and we'll be doing talking about domain flipping too. So yeah, definitely, you guys stay tuned for that because both of those are going to be awesome. And no, yeah, I promise we won't flip you. We we won't flip you. Yeah. You know what? I think so. Dragon Matter asked, "Does stock photo websites reject submissions?" So to be honest, like from what I've seen and heard, there's some obvious kind of parts like, if it's obviously adult content, if it is content that is threatening somebody or violence or some sort of kind of really blatantly obvious subject matter that is clearly not something they want on their platform, then they're going to reject it. But I think for the most part, as long as it's positive and it's, like appropriate, if you will, um, I don't think, you know, unless they just maybe have like an overabundance of a certain type of image. Um, and if maybe if it's not as unique, if it's like, hey, you just took a picture of a tree, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's a good point. So they might approve it or accept it, but it may just not sell. So it may just kind of be sitting in their inventory or their catalog of images, but it may just not sell. Which, I mean, obviously the name of the game is to try to sell, to try to make money off the stock photography. But I mean, at least, it's good experience when you're kind of going through and submitting. I think the process to submit is good experience in itself. So I think it's one of those things where you don't really know until you try. So just try maybe a little bit, a handful, pick a couple of these websites, try to upload and just kind of see what happens. I think that's probably the best bet, just to kind of see how it goes. Okay, so Dragon Matter asks, are there rules for how much you can edit a photo? Um, as far as I know, from what I've seen, um, a lot of the platforms are going to want the photos to be as raw as humanly possible, just because it is like a stock photo site. So I think they want like the raw image of like just coming out, basically coming out of the camera. So no filters, no Photoshop, that kind of thing. And I'm sure that there's ways that they'd be able to tell if you've altered the photo in some way. So I would say definitely keep it as stock as humanly possible. Otherwise, they may potentially reject it because of that if the photo's been altered. But Damien, in your experience, have you seen that where that's true? Yeah, definitely. No, that is true, Damien. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, um, I wonder if like when you're just starting out as a beginner, like if you want to just like flood these sites with like images, like I mean, definitely obviously you don't want like you don't want to send them like a pile of crap, something that isn't gonna, potentially sell. But um I would say yeah, the more that you can kind of spread out and diversify, I think is definitely that's definitely gonna be in your favor, I think. I Dragon Rider, I definitely think so. The question is, do you have to diversify your portfolio or can you stick with one subject? I think you can absolutely stick with one subject for sure. Um, And I think it's really kind of up to you. So it's not in a sense like where, you know, you have some algorithm and you're trying to like please the algorithm and you need to stay in like your niche. Um, I think it's really like a free for all. Like you can do whatever you want, whatever you're good at, whatever you feel like you have the most skill and talent with actually like capturing the image and the emotion. If it's multiple different, you know, kind of subjects or multiple different settings, then I would say, yeah, go for it for sure. Okay, so Norbert asks, what about if someone takes your existing photo and uses it for something negative or problematic? So you mean like if you upload it to one of these like stock image platforms and they take it and they use it for something negative or problematic? I think you're relinquishing your copyright as far as like you can't really control what someone else is going to do. I'm not really sure as far as like, you know, the legal side of it. Um, where does that stand in terms of, you know, leveraging the law in a sense of what you can and can't do? But yeah, I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can look that up. I actually didn't come. That's a good question. I didn't come across that Norbit on my research. Let me see if I can find it. So it looks like, from what I'm seeing here, stock photography licenses typically allow you to use images for free, but you may need to give up some rights to the image. Uh, hey, Anna, Anatith. Sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. I apologize. Thank you so much for stopping in. We're on a 30-day challenge here. We're talking about stock photography as a business model to make money. Thank you so much for popping in. Really appreciate it. So it looks like royalty-free license. This license allows you to use the same image multiple times in different projects. Let's see. So it says using stock photos without proper permission or proper attribution can lead to legal trouble, including copyright infringement and lawsuits. It's important to check the copyright and license restrictions listed in the stock photography usage guidelines. So I think whatever site that you upload to, I mean, there might be similar, but I would just double check, you know, as far as like the copyright and that sort of thing when you're uploading your images to see what rights do you still have versus what are you relinquishing by actually uploading it. But I'm pretty sure you still have the actual like because you're the image owner, you took the image itself. But as far as like the fair use license, I'm not sure how that kind of works as far as if somebody tries to use it for something you don't approve of. All right, over it says, or if the model in the photo finds a photo on some sketchy website, they signed away their rights too. Just wondering what the legal aspects. Yeah, no, I honestly, I'm not sure Norbits on that one. I'm like, you know, super hesitant to kind of like comment on anything legalese, you know, that kind of thing, because I don't want to steer anybody that's watching this live or replay down the wrong road. But I would just say it's probably something you're gonna have to work with the stock photography platform. That might be more of like a question kind of for them and you know kind of digging in and kind of getting you know that kind of thing. So yeah, sorry about that. I just don't want to give the wrong advice and someone come back and say, oh, you told me it was like this, but you know you lied about it or So this, yeah, I would say Dragon Matter. So realistically, how much money can a person start out make? I would say honestly, probably if your photos are good, and they're high quality and they're really unique, I definitely would think, I mean, you could probably make a couple $100 a month, realistically, when you're starting out. And it really just depends on, again, kind of what platform you upload to, as to how much cut or like commission that they're going to take, and whether or not you get a certain kind of bonus commission based on how many times it's downloaded. So I think it's a little bit of a kind of like a layered response, but I would say definitely from what I've seen, a couple $100 a month, just starting out, that kind of thing, as you're kind of building your portfolio out. And as you get more of a reputation and you get more of a, like you build your brand out, then I know you can definitely probably command more. I just love this. I mean, another live where we're coming together, we're helping each other out, we're giving advice, sharing experiences. I mean, to me, this is why I started doing this whole thing, specifically like the lives, because I was just hoping for people to join and to be able to, interact with each other and give input and, share their experiences. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. This is awesome to be able to interact with everybody, and be able to give, advice and share kind of like your personal experiences. So that's the cool part about this, about doing this. That's true. Yeah, that is true. Damien, right? You hit the nail right on the head, right? I mean, yep. You got to kind of, we know that there's that kind of stuff out there, that kind of people, those kind of like negative thoughts and stuff out there. So it's probably best to don't like put out there what you don't want to be exposed or exploited, that kind of thing. So maybe stick to like very neutral things, right? Like, I don't know, not people, just, inanimate objects, that kind of thing. Cause that way you can't really like, do something super bad with like animals or whatever. So. You know what? So Norbert, that's a good question. Do you need property releases for famous recognizable buildings or locations? Honestly, I think because it's public property, unless it's private property, then I think you might get into like a gray area. But if it's public property and it's like a historic landmark or something like that, then I don't think you need any kind of special permit or any kind of like, you know, release or any kind of documentation. I mean, you can freely, as long as it's public property, you can take photos and, you own the copyright because you're the photographer and you own that piece of, you know, that piece of media basically. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that in a sense of like, can you take the photo? Can you not? That kind of thing. So, and then the same thing kind of goes for like selling it. I mean, if that's something that, as long as it doesn't have like the copyright. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Sorry, Drag Matter. Yeah, what if it's someone's law office or something, not the Eiffel Tower? So I think if there's no address in there or like, no signage that says a company name and address or, phone number, that kind of thing, as long as you're shooting like a generic, like physical kind of building or like scenery, I think if there's no like actual markings as far as like, something that could be misconstrued as like, you're kind of you're graying, you're blurring the lines of, what's appropriate or what's acceptable or not, then I wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, I mean, if you're taking obviously a photo of anything like that, like super historical, like the Hoover Dam or whatever, that kind of thing is obviously you can take as much as you want, but yeah, I mean, I would say you can try to Photoshop it out, but or cut it out. You could probably at least crop it, right? You could probably crop the photo as best you can. I would just think if you can try to get a shot without like those defining, characteristics or labeling signage, if you can try to get a shot without that stuff in it in the first place, I think you're probably better off because the more you kind of manipulate and alter the image, I mean, sometimes, it could decrease the resolution potentially, but because you're trying to kind of like safeguard or protect certain pieces of the image. But um, yeah, I would say if you can, the best way to kind of do it is to try to not have any like very specific or like very defining parts of the building or the address or, the company name. Anything that can kind of get you in hot water, I would try to stay away from if you can. Like when you're taking photos. So, and then again, of course, if you have like models, like human models, and they consent to, hey, take the picture or whatever. So, thank you, Damien, so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I love having you here. I love having you guys here and interacting. And it's so much fun. I mean, it makes me want to keep going and going and going. So, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, these tips, Damien, I wanna definitely kudos to, or kind of um, definitely I don't know how to say it. I agree with what Sweetums is saying. Definitely, we appreciate you. Do seasonal changes or trends have an impact on demand for stock photos? I think it could. I mean, it definitely could. In terms of, having like holiday photos or specific times like but I think photos in a sense are like just evergreen in a sense because, even if you have like you focus on like Halloween at that time, and fall and autumn and that kind of thing and trees, fall foliage, everything that comes with like that time of year, people are always going to want that. I think no matter if it's that time of year or not, people always like looking at different sceneries and landscapes, and you never know when people are going to need what certain type of image for their website, their blog, their social media, whatever. So I think all those questions are kind of like evergreen. Definitely evergreen topics and evergreen categories that you can use. But I think that's great. Yeah, I was actually wondering about that too. You guys definitely like, can you sell AI images to stock photography or like a stock photography site, or do you need specifically to have like a real life, actual physical, structure, building, or that kind of thing? So yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, I'm not really sure. I wonder if some of these companies actually have some sort of as part of their contract, or they have like an excerpt, like as part of the rules of their guidelines, you have to kind of follow certain things in terms of having images be accepted. So I'm sure that's up to the discretion of the actual platform, whether they want to accept it or not. I mean, if they want to have like, kind of they probably definitely don't want it to be like an AI image of like a real person. It has to probably be like an actual person. But yeah, okay. No, that's cool. I think, no, Sweetums, that's a great point, and I think that's valuable information for somebody out there who may watch this replay and say, "Can I upload, stock images or AI images to Etsy?" And if the answer is yes, through like, a mock-up type vehicle or that kind of if you're doing it in that sense, that's definitely going to help somebody. So I think all this information is incredibly valuable. I love that too. I love that. What Sweetums just said is a huge, like, to be able to get to that point. So, a lot of print-on-demand sellers eventually start selling mock-up images once their shirt store becomes passive income. I mean, think about that. You're just sitting back, you're relaxing. You know, you're able to kind of like basically have your store run itself on autopilot when you have a big enough catalog of products. Then you just find other things to sell, and you kind of sell that alongside your store that's already making money. So I just love all these different ideas, these different tips and tricks and thoughts. So, okay. So you, yep. Yeah, that's where the streams of income just start picking up. And it just, once you have something that works and it starts rolling, then, you slightly spin off and you do something kind of similar. And then, oh, that's another passive income vehicle. That's another stream of income. That's another stream of income. And then it seems like once you kind of have your main stream of income, your vehicle online, then it seems like it's just a little bit easier to kind of find other ones and spread out, even if it's not making a substantial amount of money. Even if it's just a little bit here and there, it's still money coming in passively that you don't have to actively work for. Right. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, right? I mean, so there's definitely some decisions that you're gonna have to make when you get into this stock photography kind of side hustle, business model. I mean, what are you willing to spend as far as expenses like tools? That might be something like, Adobe, an Adobe stock membership. That might be, you know. Yeah. Thank you, Damien. I appreciate that. That's like my new goal is like, all right, if I can get 10 likes, if I can get 10 likes, then I'm good to go, right? Yeah, I would say, so Norbert's asked, what about the file formats? That's right, dude, you did, right? Remember that last time? That was awesome. Yeah, because of you, it just shot up like two or three, like towards the end, right? There it is. Boom. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. I don't know who did that, but thank you. Thanks to Damien for the 10 likes, or not, for like the encouragement for the 10 likes. Yeah, so I think Norbit, so I would say either JPEG or PNG. That's awesome. That's so cool. Oh, you know what else is like interesting is like that's right. Right? Hey, we definitely definitely building this kind of like, live stream relationship. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You know, hey, if you help, maybe bring in some more subscribers, watch time, you know, you're doing a great job kind of helping this channel, like as we do these live streams. So I love your support, and who knows in the future, right? If, we might strike something up, like a partnership. That's right. Yep. Yeah, Sweetums got it. We're trying. We're it's all good. We're getting there, baby steps. So, oh, thank you, Damien. I really do appreciate that. Honestly, that means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I really do have fun. I'm having fun with this like 30-day challenge. I got to be honest, it's a little taxing on my voice, but I'm having fun, and um, I really, it's it's fun to be able to come on here and just kind of chat with everybody, and um, some days we get like a good crowd and other days, it's a little smaller or whatever, but it doesn't really matter. It's all about like the content itself, and really trying to help everybody out. So you just reminded me, Sweetums. So I'm just gonna put this out there real quick. So we're not monetized yet. Our channel's not monetized. So there is ways that you can kind of help support us. So if you'd like to make a donation, at the very top of this live stream chat, there is a pinned comment. So we have Buy Me a Coffee, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo. So if you feel inclined to help out and send a donation, we greatly appreciate it. No obligation, but if you'd like to, we would definitely appreciate that as we work towards, we have many goals, and one of them definitely is monetization. And once you get there, you can actually, YouTube will, I believe, spread out your channel more and kind of, you know, basically expand the reach. So that's our goal. We want to bring more people into this community. So I appreciate that, Damon. Yeah, that's what I set out to do, and that was my goal from early on. So I wanted to be authentic. I didn't even want to do YouTube. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I hate the clickbait garbage. I hate just people that give you a little bit and then they charge you, 500 bucks to get, more of the information. Like, why not just give it all for free? That kind of thing. So, I mean, that's where I'm at, and that's kind of my philosophy, like, where I am, and so definitely that's how I like to run it. So, yeah, I appreciate it. So, all right, guys, we got about 10 more minutes or so for this live today. So I do have some personal family commitments here that I have to run off to in about 10 minutes. So we got about 10 minutes left. Yep, absolutely. Norbit's hit it right on the head, definitely. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, hey, we're going to give you just enough to kind of like wet the palate or get you excited about it. And then all of a sudden, oh, sorry, in order to get like the really good stuff, the stuff that will actually like move the needle, you got to pay a ton of money. So, yeah, I never liked that. I never liked that approach. I just thought it was like, not only dishonest, but it didn't, vibe well with me. I didn't like that. I don't like that approach. Yeah, so right now, Damien, the time is, excuse me, it's 5:51 p.m. On Friday. So Dragon Rider asked, do you have a stock consistent style or on your photos? Or can you just go wild and do vastly different images? Yeah, I would say totally. Like, you can just do whatever you like. I think if you're a photographer that's kind of been in the game for a while and you have this certain style of photography, I think that might be a slightly different kind of case. But um, hey, Maria, I just saw you pop in. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Thanks for coming back and checking it out. So if you happen to miss any of this live stream, um, if you'd like to, definitely, these are all they stay online. So I don't know if they're available right away. I think sometimes it takes a couple of hours, but definitely feel free to check it out, the replay, if you'd like to. So, yeah, we enjoy having you here, Maria. And I apologize. I don't know how long you've been here, but we got about 8 minutes left. I have to run off here to a family commitment in a little bit. So, we're only going to go for about 8 more minutes or so, give or take. So that's a good question, Norbert. So what if you have a large volume of photos for submission? Can you batch up, can you batch upload and streamline the process? To be completely honest, I don't know off the top of my head as far as like batch uploading, in mass quantities, but I kind of imagine that these sites have some sort of like, you know, you can't like cap it at like 10. I mean, there's got to be like some sort of. Yeah, absolutely. Mid Journey is so cool. Sorry, did I go uh did I freeze for a sec? I wasn't sure. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Sorry guys, can you see me? I don't, it didn't like flip back in on my side. It has me like, um, it's all black. Crap. It's all black. Okay. I'm not sure. Dang, I don't know how to get it back. But you guys can hear me, right? Maybe we should just end the live now. Yeah, I'm not sure how to get it back. I mean, we were gonna end it anyway. I got a phone call and that messed it up. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I apologize. I'm sorry it went black. I don't know how to get it back. I'm gonna have to figure that part out. But thank you guys so much again. I really appreciate everybody being here and thank you so much for the support. And don't forget, tomorrow coming up is gonna be let's see, day 11 is virtual assistant. So definitely come back for that. Sorry guys. I don't know if you can still hear me. The live says it's still ticking away, but I think it's still black. Dang, that stinks. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I know it went black. Um, well, at least it was like the last 5 minutes, right? Okay. Sorry, I know it's black. It's really crappy, but you know, yeah. Okay. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. So tomorrow we're gonna be talking about virtual assistant. I'm gonna find a way to like block the phone calls while we're live. That was what screwed it up. So let me see if I can figure that part out before the live tomorrow. So. Yep. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about a virtual assistant and how to get that going, how to make money as a virtual assistant, and how to get hired, which is awesome to do kind of like little jobs here and there. So, yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Maria, Damien, thank you guys. Norbits, Sweetums, thank you guys so much for being here. We really, really appreciate it. Dragon Rider, thank you. Dang, I wish I could figure out how to get it to not. So yeah, we're gonna try to shoot for about the same time tomorrow, guys. So around, I would say 4, what do we do today? So about 4 p.m. Mountain Time. So, yep, we're gonna shoot that. I might go live actually, potentially, and do a Q&A that's unrelated to the live, I mean to the challenge. But we'll see. So I might do like a bonus live tomorrow, but I'm trying to figure out if I can do that or not. So um yeah, as of right now, it's gonna be the same time as tomorrow, same time for tomorrow. So awesome. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Everybody be safe out there. Have a great night. Thank you again for joining. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you on the next one tomorrow. I would wave to you guys and say goodbye, but obviously you can't see me. So just pretend I'm waving. So thank you. Thank you so much, Damien. I appreciate it. And I can see the chat going. So thank you guys. All right, everybody. Have a great night.